Welcome to another horrid, despicable, terrible, vulgar, and socially unacceptable episode of The Apocalypse. And congratulations for choosing the Apocalypse, quite the bold choice. And since you have unwisely chosen the Apocalypse, you are in urgent need of a guide. Unfortunately for me, I happen to be that guide, your humble guide. Nicholas, so good to see you, a bloody gay. It appears Donnie's dementia or Alzheimer's has gotten worse. It also appears that Mr. Hegseth and Donnie are indeed mass murderers. I am now convinced that Mr. Hegseth was in the room and gave the order. Do you know who convinced me? Mr. Hegseth himself. That act he did today was not convincing at all. Quite the contrary. Donnie's act either. I have a feeling he was right there in the room. I'm not buying his act either. Let us begin. Okay, yeah, what I woke up to was scroll feeds. In other words, a feed that scrolls in front of you because someone programmed to do that. The post to do that. About Donnie. Donnie posted 160 times in 5 hours. Last night. Before the sun rose this morning. Stuff about Michelle Obama, auto pen, and this and that. Outlandish. I'm talking basic third grade QAnon shit he was reposting. When I saw what he was posting and how much, it was quite obvious Donnie's condition, his mental decline, is getting worse. Last night and today were great examples of it. Trump posted more than 160 times on Truth Social in Late Night Blitz. That's not even his record. I don't care what his record is. I care that he spent 5 hours posting just abject drivel. He's the president. That worries me. That really worries me. And it should worry you, Rubes. I know it doesn't. Don't worry. You'll be worried when the fallout's over your neighborhood, okay? Maybe that's when you'll get it. That this wasn't the Buffalo Bills versus the Pittsburgh Steelers. You fucking children. 5 hours, 160 posts. Shit that third graders would be embarrassed to put up, son. Do you hear me? That's the president. We are goddamn doomed. You understand that, right? And again, I know you've heard a million people, political commentary say that. No, son, they ain't me, and it wasn't now. We are fucked. Thanks a lot, Rubes. That includes you too, not just the liberals, moron. Just letting you know. I know a lot of you know already. Some of you ain't even on the planet no more because the farm went under. We tried to warn you, man. But you know better. So many of you in this world. I'm sure you'll know better as you're taking the mark too. 160 times in 5 hours, and I could sit here and read the whole article and all the different things. No. I'm telling you what it was. It was frightening. So that's how Donnie spent his evening. That's why he was falling asleep left and right today. Plus, he's got dementia or Alzheimer's or both. He's 80 years old. He doesn't exercise at all whatsoever. And he eats McDonald's. So it's amazing that he's even still breathing, honestly. He shouldn't be. Not by the way he's lived. The amount of coke he's done on top of all that. You know what's keeping him alive, right, son? I know you know. Same thing that kept Hitler alive, his wreck mess ass. By 1936, he was a fucking mess. Could barely fucking move. Somehow it lasted all the way to 1945. 12 years in total. Donnie's losing it. I heard another medical theory about Donnie. I look at them very closely when people post them to see if it actually fits. Something about an Alzheimer's drug that's infused into you. You gotta, they gotta put an IV into you, and the drug has to infuse for like an hour. They think that's what Donnie's doing. It's an Alzheimer's drug. And then they have to give you MRIs of your head because this Alzheimer's drug, I forget the name of it, can cause the brain to swell and things to happen in the head. So you have to keep checking to make sure the medication isn't doing that. I said, that sounds exactly like what Donnie's doing. But, there's other intravenous medications for fucking geriatrics and stuff like that Donnie could be on. He's on something, we know it. He's got a condition, we know it. He disappears for a week, 3, 5 days at a time. That's medical condition. Usually at the beginning of the month, this drug or certain things would be done. A lot of people say he disappears at the beginning of the month. I don't know. I haven't been keeping that close track of it. I do notice when he's gone for 7 days or 4 days or whatever. I know exactly what that is. Every time. When you're president, you don't disappear, ever. Not even for a day. Ever. That's standard. Donnie disappears for a week at a time, and we just all pretend like nothing's fucking wrong. As idiots write articles about Joe Biden's mental fucking decline and physical decline, he's in better shape than Donnie, and he has fucking cancer. Again, he's losing it. He's gone more now. And I could tell by his performance today as well. He was extra mean, extra evil. He's getting worse. Last night and today are a great illustration of it. Now let me move the fuck on. I've wasted too much time on this already. Then I saw this. Donald Trump has formally pardoned former Honduran President Juan Orlando Hernandez. So he tried over the years, he brought in about 500 tons worth of coke. That's why he got prosecuted. I know the pretense for mass murder down in the Caribbean for Donnie and Pete is to protect us from drugs, but Donnie has let 3 prolific drug traffickers out because they paid him. That tells you what it's really about down in Venezuela, down in the Caribbean, on the mass murder tour for Donnie and Pete. Nothing to do with drugs, son. Again, Donnie Spinett was a cokehead most of his life. Until he couldn't be anymore, literally. Only thing that stopped him. I can tell. Straight cokehead. Lived it, son. So this ain't about drugs, this ain't about crime for you people because you voted for a convicted felon. You stand for nothing, you believe in nothing. And you're applauding and cheering on a mass murderer now. You're doing great in life. I don't care how big your house is, farm, how nice your car is, son. All goddamn meaningless to the man. None of that is success in the man's mind. Otherwise, Jesus Christ would have had all those things. That ain't what the man's looking for. You know what he's looking for? A human that can actually not prove worthless and say no to the mark. That's what he's looking for. You won't say no, though, don't worry. Most of you. It's entertainment for most people, the apocalypse. They don't get it yet. They will, though. Oh, they will. So, as Donnie and Pete commit mass murder down in the Caribbean, they let a prolific drug trafficker with a 45-year sentence who brought 500 tons in. Because it's, according to them, a Biden setup. Yeah, sure. Has nothing to do with the check he gave you, right, Donnie? You fat fuck. This is Donnie at the round table. We love you, Caesar, as you're falling further and fading further into dementia and Alzheimer's. We're going to go the wrong way if we keep taking in garbage into our country. Ilhan Omar is garbage. She's garbage. Her friends are garbage. Really? Did Ilhan stage a coup? Did Ilhan rape children with Jeff Epstein for years? Did Ilhan have Epstein whacked? Did Ilhan steal 3,000 classified documents like a $3 cunt of a Russian asset? Did Ilhan stage a coup? Is Ilhan adjudicated a rapist? Is Ilhan adjudicated a defamer? Is Ilhan adjudicated a fraud? Is Ilhan a convicted felon? No? Because you voted for all those things. And much, much more. Is Ilhan a mass murderer? No, but your boy is. Mass murderer. I wonder if Jack the Ripper killed 80-some people. I gotta look into that. How many people died because of Manson, Gacy, Dahmer? I bet Pete and Donnie's numbers are higher. You think I'm kidding? You think it's legitimate to go down the Caribbean and start blowing up boats? No evidence, no trial, no nothing? You think the man don't see that as straight abject murder? The whole table laughed about it too when Pete made kind of a little joke about it. Everyone that laughed at that table, when they're standing around the lake, I don't think they'll be laughing, son. I had just said the day before, be careful how loud you laugh about this shit. Blowing up men, murdering them on the high seas, as if it's a video game. Next day, the whole table's laughing about it. Tells you what kind of people they are. Tells you where they're going. You out there, I'd be real careful how loud you laugh about it. Because, again, you tell your kids about Santa Claus, right, when they're little, how he's always watching. That's what the man does, too. And he's actually real, unlike Santa Claus. So, when I run down the list of garbage, Ilhan doesn't come out as garbage, but Donnie sure as fuck does. Donnie smells like hot garbage, too, a nice shitty fucking diaper. That's another thing about Ilhan. Does she shit her pants? No. Donnie does. Did Ilhan have her ex-wife whacked? No. Okay, here's Pete doing the act. This is what convinced me right here. And then the other 2, 3 things that he said. He is not a good liar. I told you, guys like Pete, guys like Donnie, they wear their emotions, their agenda right on their sleeve. They're not good liars whatsoever. Here we go. Let's look at Pete as he stammers and gyrates like a weasel trying to get out of The Hague because he knows he's a mass murderer. He's just trying to spin it the right way because that's the Fox News way of fixing things. That's why your country's over, son. Because you allowed this way of fixing things by your vote, and you like it. You dig it. Well, I'm here to tell you it's the apocalypse, and everything you see before you is over. Because you dug this. Only reason. You. I watched that First Strike live. Bullshit, you watched the whole thing. As you can image at the Department of War, we've got a lot of things to do. So I didn't stick around for the hour to 2 hours, whatever. That whatever right there tells me all I need to know, son. Where all the sensitive site exploitation digitally occurs. Sure, Pete. I moved on to my next meeting. Could you tell us who that was with, what time? Oh no? None of that? Just vagary. A couple hours later, I learned we don't need the rest. That's a hell of an act right there, son. Even just reading it, you kind of can feel the stammer and bullshit. That statement right there tells me Pete was in the room, he gave the order, and I'm really leaning towards Donnie was in the room as well. You're telling me Pete Hegseth, the guy who never had balls in his life, but he loves killing people as long as he's far away from it. And so does Donnie. So he's sitting in that room watching that boat get blown up, and you're telling me he leaves before the good part of the movie? No, Pete. You're a goddamn liar. Pete was in the room. Pete gave the order. I'd bet my life on that. Wouldn't be surprised if Donnie was in the room too. This is their baby again. Who do you think thought this up? Your mama? Pete and Donnie thought this whole idea up of stealing Venezuela's oil, blowing up boats, getting what the cartels have, getting what everyone has. Tribute or what you got? And if you give me tribute, well, you're giving me tribute the rest of your life, son. That's how the mob works. That's what the, genius CEOs didn't think about. Yeah, I don't think he moved on to his next meeting. You notice no details about that meeting. No, who it was with, what it was about. How do you put that again? So I didn't stick around for the hour to 2 hours, whatever, where all the sensitive site exploitation. You're only the Department of War. Why would you? You should know how long everything went on. There shouldn't be any whatevers in there. The whatever's in there because he's lying to you. I can tell by the language used. That alone. So I'm personally fully convinced, thanks to Pete, He was right in the room, loving every minute of it. He already said it all on Fox News. That's what Pete doesn't get. We already know, Pete. We're paying attention, Pete. We're not an abject fucking drunk like you. Because it's our country and our lives that you're stealing, Pete. That you will end up in the lake for. And your mass murders. You've got a lot more murders to commit, Pete. And to joke about. I forgot to tell you guys. God came up with his own Doge department. You ready? And it's to get rid of waste, fraud, and abuse. And no one actually works for it. Because God's Doge department, the way God deals with waste, fraud, and abuse, is the lake, son. So God don't use a chainsaw. And he don't use, pedophile apologists named Big Balls who help pedos online hide their identity. The way God handles that waste, fraud, and abuse, again, Leon. That would be the lake. That's his program. It concerns you. And Donnie and Pete and all of them. Everybody laughing at that table today. And many who weren't even there. So that's God's Doge department. It's called the lake. I just want to let you know that. Yeah, I'm not buying the act Pete's, or I'm not buying what Pete's selling where I just, the second the boat got hit, I just walked out the room. I had another meeting. Really? Because that ain't what you said on Fox News, son. You goddamn mass murdering fucking drunk liar. Destined for the lake. This is Ron Filipkowski commenting on Donnie's evening. He was up posting 150 deranged things on Truth Social last night until midnight, then started right back up again, posting more at 5:48 a.m. And the reason Ron's saying is because Aaron Rupar is pointing out Trump looks to be unconscious as Linda McMahon winds down her remarks. Well, let's be honest, Donnie falls asleep every day during these things. This isn't new. But here's Donnie with the hideous pink fucking tie. And yeah, his eyes are closed and he's passed out. He had a busy night. He texted 160 times like a goddamn sociopath in a fucking padded room somewhere. So glad you people gave this fucking animal the keys. Wait till you see what he does to your fucking life. Trump on the land strikes he's planning. There's Donnie again. If they come in through a certain country, any country, I hear Colombia is making cocaine. Anybody doing that and selling it into our country is subject to attack. You mean subject to murder, Donnie. That's what you mean. Not attack. Subject to murder. Donnie was a cokehead most of his life. So he don't care about drugs coming in, and neither do you. Let's be honest, son. Donnie's a convicted felon. So you don't care about criminals because you voted for one, and you don't care about crime. You voted for crime, son. Wait till you see what he takes from you. Taking so much from so many of you already. So Donnie letting us know that he's going to take his mass murder spree on land. And, it's about drugs, right, guys? Even though he just pardoned. First thing I read you, or second thing. Literally, officially pardoned a motherfucker responsible for 500 tons of coke coming in. Again, you people believe in nothing. You never stood for jack shit. You're just going along with the, I don't know, the devil. Doesn't make any sense. You ain't getting shit out of it. Whatever. You knew better, son. Donnie, again, we're going to start doing those strikes on land too. You know, the land is much easier. Again, Donnie, letting you know the mass murder spree by Donnie and Pete Hegseth will continue on land and get worse. Because they need that Venezuelan oil. None of this is about drugs. It never was. I'm sure getting that Venezuelan oil will make your life better, right, Rubes? No, that's for Donnie and his rich buddies, and that's for the war machine. See, you voted for the modern Adolf Hitler. And I know some of you, because you're fucking idiots, think that's a good thing. It's not a good thing for you, little child. Read a history book. Look at what happened to Germany as a result of one man called Adolf Hitler. That's what you voted for. That's what that oil's really for. It ain't for cheap gas here. They got a Reich to build. When you build in a Reich in the image of Germany, you steal in your neighbor's assets just like Adolf did. The difference is America, with its military, can steal assets around the globe. You don't got to be nearby. You could be anywhere. And the Reich has the military capability of taking what you have. The difference between Adolf then and Adolf now. He didn't have that kind of reach. My God, if he would have. Now he does. If you look at this thing as Adolf Hitler, and I certainly fucking do. He's playing the role he's about to show you in a minute when he talks about something else. I'll save it for them. They ask drunk-ass Hegseth the question. This is his face, and boy, he does not look comfortable. He looks a little nervous there. Pete's worried about it all slipping away. Don't worry, Pete, it won't happen yet. What you should really be afraid of is that Armageddon thing you're going to start. And what happens to you there. That's what I'd be worried about. On the second strike, you said it happened more than an hour after the first. I couldn't tell you the exact amount of time. Yeah, I know, Pete, because if you did, then you'd be admitting you were in the room, gave the order, and you knew the whole story. And no, you didn't walk out and not know anything about anything. So Pete doesn't want to pin himself down, nail himself to a time, because then his alibi goes bye-bye. Once people start looking, talking to the, the leakers, stuff like that, pinning it all down. They had a press conference at the Pentagon today. Did you see it? You probably didn't. You know why? It was all hack, right-wing podcasters. Matt Gaetz was there. Not one liberal journalist. They've finally done it, son. They've turned it into a straight propaganda pulpit. No liberals allowed. No truth allowed. They've done it. I will do my best to never report anything that comes out of the Pentagon podcasters group. You know why? It's a waste of my goddamn time, that's why. Because there ain't one real journalist in there anymore. So what's the point? Get used to it. It's going to be that for the rest of the existence of dying America, which ain't long. Done. Pete's a total fuck up and a mass murderer and a leaker and all kind of things. His obsession is making sure nothing leaks about him from the Pentagon. He's failed so far. That's why all this happened. Plus, it was always going to happen. Again, what did Hitler do? Was dissent allowed in the Third Reich? No. Was real reporting and press allowed in the Third Reich? No. In fact, Hitler came up with the lying press slogan. Just like your favorite fat fuck, orange-faced Hitler came up with the fake news or enemy of the people. All based on Hitler. Again, all these moves were done in the first term. Attack academics, attack fucking everything. The arts, the sciences, everything. Just like Adolf. And you all watch this. And you voted for Adolf again. It will be your ruin. And a lot of us too. And like I said 10 years ago, son, everyone will be crying in the end. Every damn person. So Pete can't tell you the exact amount of time because Pete doesn't want to give too many details that would fuck up the lies he's telling. Hey, he's only the Secretary of Defense. Why would he know these time frames? What is he like, the Secretary of Defense or something? Yeah. And no, he ain't dumb. He just playing dumb, son. He was in the room. He gave the order. And it's obvious. All vagary, no details. So you didn't see any survivors after that first strike? Hegseth, I did not personally see survivors. The thing was on fire. This is called the fog of war. This is what you in the press don't understand. You sit in your air-conditioned offices and plant fake stories in the Washington Post as if Pete ain't living it up. As if Pete ever had a hard day in the military or out. The total fucking trust fund fucking rich kid. Kidding me? There was no fog of war. They're looking at computer monitors. The best equipment you can that mankind has. Again, Pete knew exactly what was going on because he was there the whole time. I can tell by what he's saying. This is pathetic right here, what he just said. The fog of war. I didn't see nothing. Well, wait, I thought you left. Now you're talking fog of war. Look, it's obvious. Pete and Donnie are mass murderers. And I know it, at the very least, I know Pete was in the room giving the orders. I can tell by what he said today. I can tell by what I just read you. Donnie keeps saying I had nothing to do with it. That tells me he was probably in the room too. He literally said that today. Trump on if he supports a second strike. As far as the attack is concerned, I still haven't gotten a lot of info because I rely on Pete. That's Pete under the bus again. I didn't know about the second strike. I wasn't involved in it. What does that mean, class? When Donnie says, I don't know, I wasn't involved in that indictment against James Comey. Or 90 million other things. That means Donnie was involved. That means Donnie was in the room. That means Donnie knows every detail. How do I know that? They both bragged about watching the footage. They both joked about all these boat strikes every single day. Again, until the Hague got brought up. Now it's past that hot potato as fast as you can before it burns the fuck out of your hand. Unbelievable. I didn't know about the second strike. I wasn't involved in it. Sure, Donnie. See, that now I'm convinced that Donnie was in the room too. Always go with the opposite. These are abject liars that are building an Adolf Hitler Reich. That's not an exaggeration. If they tell you the sky's blue, they goddamn lying. Again, I explain these type of people, Adolf Hitler as well, say anything to get your foot in the door in the situation that you're looking to proceed in. And there will be dumbass after dumbass who open that door and let you in. That's Donnie, that's Pete, that's the Reich, that's Adolf Hitler. Here's Donnie again. There's a group of people out there that have been very successful, and we've already started talking to them. We're doing ballrooms. We're doing Arch, spoken like a true fucking ape in the jungle. We have a thing that's being planned that's going to be a great tribute in the country, as you know, the Arch. Again, class. Adolf Hitler hired an architect to build an arch. They tried to build it in a swamp. They did a test of what the swamp could take weight-wise. The swamp failed, so the arch didn't get put up. The architect drew up plans for a grand reception or type of ballroom, type of reception room over a bunker in Berlin, because Adolf Hitler wanted to make Berlin the capital of the world. What does the orange-faced, diapered fucking maniac just happen to be talking about right now? An arch in combination with a ballroom built over a fucking bunker. What does that mean again, class? He wants to make DC the capital of the world. He wants to rule the world. Literally. That's what you've done. Does that sound like a stable individual, fuckface? Building the exact two things Adolf Hitler wanted to build. That's what you've done. Same idea Hitler wanted to proceed with. Oh, Berlin's the capital of the world. Again, the difference today, the technology and military the Reich has, they can actually rule the world. They can get to anywhere in hours. Adolf didn't have that. He didn't have this super modern technology either. Or the nukes. Or a piggy bank called America that he could loot. Europe had nothing compared to what this country has as far as, the amount of wealth. Imagine if Adolf had us as a piggy bank like Donnie does, literally. Would make him infinitely more dangerous, wouldn't it? Of course it fucking would. That's what we got. Thanks, Roops. This is Rand Paul. He did a little interview. Have you seen evidence there were survivors on the boat? They only show me selective briefings, but both strikes were illegal. Did you hear that part? That's a Republican or independent. I forget what he is. He might as well be a Republican if he's not. Straight up saying both strikes were wrong. Why are we only talking about one, son? Someone else been saying that for days. Me. Why are we just talking about survivors? The killing of the people in boats with no evidence. We have no idea who these people are. There's some very open boats to be carrying mass amounts of drugs. The boats appear very open. Yes, again, class, I know you hear the Reich say things so you think they're true. Just because it's the apocalypse, just because you're a racist, just because you're evil, just because you want to hurt other people, just because Donnie's the Antichrist, doesn't give anyone the right to blow up fishermen in the Caribbean. You see how that works? And if the bomb was dropping on your bitch ass head, I bet you have a whole nother opinion about it. Of course you would. That's what I'm trying to say, and everyone should be saying that. Every politician, every single person. Killing people in general in these boats is wrong enough, illegal enough, murder enough, let alone survivors. Why are we even talking about survivors? Why aren't we talking every single murder is murder? Rand is. The boats are 2,000 miles away and capable of reaching America. Where's the proof? It's a completely made up sense that we're at war. But both strikes were illegal. Yep. And every fucking body knows it. Therefore, Pete Hegseth is a mass murderer. Donnie Shitbags is a mass murderer. Indisputable. And again, they provided the footage as proof of what I'm saying to you. Multiple times. 80-some bodies and counting each. Not 160 in total, but you know what I'm saying? Each. They each have the 80 on their heads. As well as that admiral. So Donnie, this is one of the things he put out, I believe, during his 160 rant. Now, back when Donnie first took over, I made a lot of proclamations to you people. I told him he's going to undo all Biden's pardons. I told you back when Biden did the pardons. I told you he's going to do that, right? Don't matter that people are pardoned. He doesn't care about the law. Here's a Donnie post. Again, this is the second time I believe he's posting this, giving away the whole game, his exact intentions, exactly what I said he wants to do and he would do. Any and all documents, proclamations, executive orders, memorandums, or contracts signed by order of the now infamous and unauthorized auto pen within the administration of Biden are hereby null, void, and of no further force or effect. Anyone receiving pardons, that's in quotes, commutations, or any other legal document so signed, please be advised that said document has been fully and completely terminated and is of no legal effect. Thank you for your attention, like a true cunt. Exactly what I said he would do. Like 10 months ago. Maybe long further back than that. Here we are. I told you he'd lock up the liberals, right? That's what Adolf did, right? We ain't there yet. We will get there, don't worry. Only, again, the only obstacle left between full Reich and success are liberals. Just like in 1939. Same thing. I'm glad I said that. There's something I've been wanting to say. You need to ask yourself a question, if you're smart. Why has the right side of politics since 1945 been trying to convince you that Adolf Hitler was a socialist, that liberal, all that commie bullshit? No, he was a right-wing nationalist to start off with. And then he became a right-wing white supremacist, white nationalist. Eventually straight up just dictator, fascist. Why did the right wing of politics since 1945, why were they desperate? And Leon and Greasy Pete Thale are the modern incarnation of this argument. Why do they need you to believe that Adolf Hitler was a socialist liberal movement and not a right-wing nationalist one, like right-wing politics has been since before my birth? Why have we had to listen from right-wing politician after politician over the decades that Adolf was a socialist? Why don't they want you to think that Adolf Hitler was a right-wing nationalist to start off with? Oh, because that's what their movement is, and it's what it's always been. What did their movement need out of the way? Liberals. Just like the Third Reich. I'm going to repeat this one more time. You need to ask yourself the question, why right-wing politicians, Leon Scum, Greasy Pete Thale, they need you to believe, and they've been making the argument since 1945, that Adolf Hitler was not a right-wing nationalist or fascist. No, he was an evil, liberal, Marxist socialist. Even though the first thing Hitler did was lock up the liberals, so you know that's a lie. What they're telling you is a lie. Why are they telling you that lie, moron? Because right-wing politics, the ideology, what's really behind it, I told you the Klan votes are, baby. That should tell you all you need to know about what ours about. Because the right-wing political movement has been Nazism, has been fascism. And that is their platform. How do I know? Well, what I've seen through the decades. I'm not a young man. And the maximum expression of right-wing politics is now straight Nazism. So what has it always been? Pseudo-Nazism, racism, theft, fascism, a milder form, always in hopes. Remember George Bush Sr., always in hopes we can go full Reich at some point. And go full fascist, because when we have rules, we can't steal everything. We can only steal almost everything. When people have rights and freedoms and the right to vote and all that, well, all of us con men and grifters, that doesn't bode well for us. We don't like that idea. So why, since 1945, again, does the right wing need you to believe that Adolf Hitler was a socialist and not a right-wing nationalist, fascist, etc.? Because that's what they always been. They were the Nazis, son, and they've proven it right now. But that's what it always was. Do you see it? Shouldn't be that difficult. If they weren't Nazis, if they weren't racists, if they weren't white nationalists, They wouldn't be making the argument that Hitler was a socialist. They just tell you what Hitler actually was. They could never tell you what Hitler actually was. Why? Because it hits a little too close to home and reveals what they are. They're the same evil. How do I know? The Reich now. Again, that's the inevitable conclusion of right-wing politics. That's why I say that over and over. I don't say it for fun because I like how it sounds. Nazism and fascism are the inevitable conclusion of American right-wing politics, capitalism, etc. So again, why have the Nazis since 1945 in America? Why do they need you to believe that Adolf Hitler's movement was a socialist movement, a liberal movement, when he locked up all the fucking liberals? If you weren't stupid, just that one fact alone would make you understand that you've supported liars your entire life. They don't want you to know that Hitler was a right-wing nationalist, because then you're going to realize, oh shit, they're just... that platform is my platform that I vote for over and over again. And the ones that are joyful Nazis, well, just the lake awaits. I'm not even talking to you. I'm talking to maybe the one or two that don't know. Or maybe they don't realize what they are, what their movement is. Ask yourself the question. See what you come up with. Here's an excerpt of an article. Secretary Hegseth said he had no knowledge of this and it did not happen. That was their first response, remember? It was fake news. It didn't happen. Remember, Donnie said Pete said it didn't happen. And then the next day from the podium at the White House are saying it did happen. Yep. The narrative changes. Mark of a liar. Every time. The next day from the podium, the White House are saying it didn't happen. Paul told reporters in the U.S. Capitol, so either he was lying to us or he's incompetent and didn't know it had happened. No, they're not incompetent to that degree. They both knew it happened. Again, when Donnie gets caught, I don't know. When Pete gets caught, I don't know. Do we think there's any chance the Secretary of Defense did not know there had been a second strike? So as a country, we're just going to let people lie to us to our face, he added. Right. Pete knew everything about every strike. It's video games to him. He doesn't understand he's going to the lake. And he has no choice. He's too much of a 3-year-old to get the ramifications of how deep in the lake he's going. He's in for a really rude fucking awakening. They all are. Donnie, Leon, Pete. It's going to be bad. They will cry like amoebas. It's going to be bad. It will be quite the spectacle. Yeah, the narrative has already changed several times. That's the mark of a liar or liars. Every single fucking time. This is one of the things Donnie said early. I should get the Nobel Prize. Again, this fucking maniac. Every other question the reporters are asking him about his mass murder spree and Pete's mass murder spree. In between that, I should get the Nobel Peace Prize. Donald Trump is a mass murderer. He shouldn't even be a remote thought in the same sentence as the Nobel Peace Prize. And he still wants it. as they laugh about men's deaths that they caused, that people are afraid to go fishing. Ha 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 ha. There'll be a lot of fish in the lake. A fishing rod won't be able to get them out, though. Yeah, I don't think Donnie the mass murderer deserves a Nobel, do you? Just my opinion. Maybe you see it differently. Maybe you think murder's cool. According to the U.S. Coast Guard, the year prior to Trump changing our policy to summary execution, only 21% of the vessels interdicted by them off the coast of Venezuela suspected of drug trafficking had drugs on board. The other 79% had nothing, but now we just killed them all. Ron Filipkowski is quoting a study that went all over the internet today. Again, this ain't about drugs, this ain't about crime, and you people don't care about drugs or crime. I could tell by who you voted for. It's about Venezuela's oil. And it's about letting the cartels know we want our cut. We control the world now. Just like Adolf. This is one of the things that Hegseth said early on, and that's when everyone laughed at the table. We've had a bit of a pause because it's hard to find boats right now. You mean find people to murder, Pete? Funny you don't mention the humans in the boats. Don't worry, the man will mention them to you right before your bitch ass goes in the lake. Hard to find boats right now in the whole Reich panel that serves their dignity up. Cold at every one of these meetings. They all laughed about Pete's little joke there. His mass murder joke. That's where you Jesus people are now. Joking about mass murder. And clapping for it like a good seal. All, murder, mass murder. Yay. Right, Roops? Here's Pete, even though Dunny threw him straight under the bus. I will just end by saying, as President Trump always has our back, we always have the back of our commanders. Really? Because, Pete, you said it was all the Admiral that did it. I don't think you have his back. You got to put a knife in his back. I saw that. All these strikes are making judgment calls, ensuring they defend the American people. Judgment calls, you say, all of a sudden, when the war crimes are discussed. Judgment calls ensuring they defend the American people. I'm going to speak to the Navy right. Ain't a goddamn one of you protecting me right now. Get the fuck out of here. Go fucking fuck yourself. You're all part of a mass murder campaign. I'm ashamed you're my military. Fuck off. Until you walk the other way, son. Then we can talk again, okay? Not that you give a fuck. Don't worry, you will. Everyone will. They've done the right things. We'll keep doing that. They've done the right things, Pete says. Amazing how Pete can compliment you and throw you right the fuck under the goddamn bus at the same time. Donnie too. So we've got the Secretary of War, fucking $3 cunt, Fox News host who can't do a goddamn pull-up. And we've got the President of the United States. Neither of them know nothing. Roops. They don't know anything. They had nothing to do with it. I don't believe either one of them. Get the fuck out of here. And again, we've had 2 days of Donnie throwing Hegseth under the bus, Hegseth throwing the Admiral under the bus. That's all we've had. Hegseth squirming in his fucking chair, giving the whole game away. I know you were in the room, son. And I know you gave the order. And so does the man. So lying about it now might, keep your job for a while. It's not going to save you, though. You're still a mass murderer, Pete. You always will be. And Donnie as well. Here's Donnie. Is Trump in good health? I sit here, I do 4 news conferences a day. I ask questions from very intelligent lunatics, you people. I give the right answers. There's never a scandal. There's never a problem. I give you answers that solve your little problems. There's a scandal every 3 seconds, and he lies his fucking face off. Every day, all day, every single day. I can't believe he said this out loud. Hegseth, we've only just begun striking narco boats and putting narco terrorists at the bottom of the ocean. Look, you guys can call them narco whatever all day long. You're still mass murderers, and you always will be. In my eyes, the man's eyes, and in many people's eyes. So Mr. Hegseth and Donnie let you know in one of his comments that their mass murder has only just begun. They plan on murdering a lot more people. Family Values Party. That's what they call them. They're pro-life. Woo! Ric Flair, woo! There was a video of Ric Flair going to Thanksgiving. I didn't even know he was still alive. And he did the whole woo, and he walked in the house. I was like, damn, that's pretty fucking stylish how he did that. There's this fake narrative that the Democrats talk about affordability. The word affordability is a con job by the Democrats. So all of us out here, we can't afford shit. When I was in my early 20s, I had an apartment for $575 a block away from the beach in a nice little town in New Jersey. Now, if I wanted that same apartment, that apartment would be $2,000 plus bills and about 8 G's just to get in the door. First, last, security. What's that other scam they got going? Like processing fees, they charge you $50, $100. Application fees, they call them. Anything to scam you, son. That's a Democratic hoax. Us not being able to afford things now. Why? Because they exposed Donnie's grift. Donnie doesn't like that. Look, prices have been out of control for a while, but the last fucking 5 years, 4 years, especially after Donnie took over too. What happened during COVID right after that? I've told you people this many times. Anytime there is a national tragedy or a world tragedy, the answer for landlords and everyone else is gouge you. Rents go up 500, 600. It happens overnight. It always happens after major tragedies. That's how the good landlord type people handle things. They follow the corporate lead. And we're all fucked because of it. And again, I'm here to let you know, guys, I've also been telling you this for a long time, and it's the truth. And I don't care who it pisses off. Your 2-bedroom, 2.5 bath is not worth $500,000. It never was. And that bubble's about to pop again. Be prepared for your house being worth half. Be fucking prepared. These prices they don't even remotely reflect reality. It is such a scam bubble. It has to pop, son. And you're being liquidated and looted in a Reich form. They steal in everything of value. That includes the value of your home. They need you desperate. And by they, I mean the Reich, the ones that are going to offer you the mark. So no, there's no fake narrative. Shit's the most unaffordable point I've ever seen. It's not even close to fair anymore. And what you get for your money, trash. So it ain't a con job by any Democrats or anyone like that. And yes, rents went up 500-600 at least after COVID. Again, that's how humanity reacts when they lose a little bit of money. Corporate America and the other humans that own property, they're all greedy as hell. Every single one. They all think they rent you the Taj Mahal. None of them are. Immediately after major world tragedies, major national tragedies, oh, that's an excuse to rob everybody. There's going to be a lot of people, I imagine, just a guess of mine, that own major property, rentals, all that. And they're going to get to the gates of heaven and they're going to want to come in. And I have a feeling what God's going to say to a lot of those people is, how hard did you make it for people to come in? Through your gates, son. You can't come in, I'm sorry. They're going to be some rude goddamn awakenings. Maybe for me too. I don't care. I just want the end at this point. I didn't before, but I'm not talking about the end of me personally. The end. I'm not interested anymore. One of the reasons I'm not interested anymore in humanity or anything, the landlord thing. That's a major one. That's just one reason, though. But when you think about it, if you're not rich, and most of us aren't, what do you got to look forward to? A relationship, maybe a few kids. Maybe you find an apartment for $2,000 a month and scrape by. Maybe you save up a little bit and a bunch of stock market people steal it all. Or maybe the Antichrist comes along and your life savings disappears. A lot of you be prepared for that. That's coming. Anything of value. Here's Donnie lying about ending the income tax again. I believe that at some point in the not so distant future, you won't even have to pay income tax. Whether you get rid of it or just keep it around for fun or have it really low, you won't be paying income tax. I don't believe that for a second. Why? Because that's less money for Donnie to steal from you. That's why. That's it. That's one huge, endless, almost infinite supply of money that Donnie can steal. The Reich can steal. That's how most of it comes in. Because of income tax. Yeah, I don't see Donnie doing that. He's just saying that to get your hopes up because he knows you're stupid. And he's grifting, stealing everything that's not nailed down. And he wants to get away with that before you notice. On affordability, are the American people getting impatient with the reforms that you are making? What reforms? Donnie's sleeping, doing Adderall, playing golf, and stealing money. And committing mass murder down in the fucking Caribbean. I think they're getting fake news from guys like you. Affordability is a hoax that was started by Democrats. No. Affordability is a real concern. It's one of the probably the most major concern most humans have in this failed experiment called America. Can I afford food, my car payment, my rent, my mortgage, all of it? Electricity skyrocketing because of data centers. Can I afford a college fund for my kids? Again, we've gotten to the point, our society, you see these articles that come out, you'll spend $2 million over the lifetime of your child to get them through college and out the door. It's over at that point, man. It's just over. When they got you scammed that hard, where you're cool with, oh, it's going to cost me $2 million if I have a kid, great. That's just, that's life. No, it isn't, son. That's called fuck you and a scam. Affordability is no hoax. And Donnie knows that, and it ruins Donnie's groove, exposes his grift, every bullshit grift he's got going that makes prices go even higher, makes people notice more, makes Donnie worry about the pitchforks coming out. Donnie knows that's an Achilles heel. Daily expenditure by the masses. And we right at the point, baby, where it's about to tip. And you know what I mean by tip. People about to not take it anymore. And they need to head that off at the pass. That's one of Donnie's worries. The populace, pitchforks and torches in real numbers that can't be ignored. He's also worried about the military one day saying no. The second that happens, where the military stops listening to Hegseth and Donnie, experiment over. That's why you're the key to it, military. You've always been in Hitler's day, in our day. Without you, the Reich don't happen. Well, the Reich's already happened, so I can't rely on you to stop it. Exactly what I thought you would do. It won't go well for you. So affordability isn't a hoax, Donnie, sorry. This I found interesting. ICE just signed a $30 million contract to design new mega detention centers, including proposals to turn vacant Amazon-style warehouses into holding sites. This woman here, I have no fucking clue who she is, was talking about it. I didn't even listen to the video. That's not the point. ICE detention, the largest detention system in the world, will double capacity to detain more than 100,000 people this year. You know what that detain thing's called? Concentration camp. That's where we at in America. Your money paying for concentration camps, for detainment camps. America's over, son. But what I'm interested in here is Amazon-style warehouses. This reminds me of another story that I listened to on Right Wing Grift TV many years ago. Alex Jones, the Hagmans, that whole circle, that whole right-wing machine at the time. The big story was they're turning the abandoned Walmarts into detention camps. The evil liberals, I believe that was under Obama, they were saying that. You would have people stake out Walmarts. You would have people sneak in. You'd have contractors take a little sneak footage while they inside one of these closed Walmarts. It was the whole thing. And I watched them all say it. And it never happened. Why? Because Alex Jones is a white supremacist Nazi liar who was part of this movement where we're at right now. He was the enemy. That whole group, all of them alleged to be Christian, yet they vote Donnie. They preach Donnie. They were preaching that the Walmarts were going to be used as detention camps by the evil liberals. Never happened, which makes them all liars, grifters, bullshitters. Didn't even remotely happen. Well, Rubes and class, it appears that yes, they are gonna use some major corporate warehouses and turn them into camps, but it ain't the liberals. It's you. It always was you. All you people saying what the liberals were going to do over these decades on right-wing grift television. I watched you do it. You were the enemy. It was you the entire time. So one more time, actually, no, it's not the liberals that are going to turn the Walmarts into camps or turn the Bezos warehouses into camps. It's you, son. Always was. You've been the Nazi party since 1945. You didn't even know it. Or maybe you did. Now it's the end. What I've been forgetting to say because I'm so tired. When the mark comes, you must say no. If you want to know why I'm so adamant, why you must say no when the mark comes, and it's a coming, son, don't worry. Go read Revelation, see what happens to the people that take the mark. Ask yourself if you want to be one of them. I sure as fuck don't. Don't sound good. Anyway, people, I gotta go. I'm very tired, and who knows what horrors await me tomorrow. Have a wonderful evening.